Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan, and today we have two returning special guests.
Introduce yourself, fellas.
All right.
Hey there, it's Ryan the Gillinator.
And it's Brandon Crum from the ArnoldFans.com's podcast, Arnold Radio News.
Back again, and I was thinking, I'm like, wow, I think this is the third time you guys came on, and then it's actually the fourth time for Brandon, because we did that one Batman one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, I just can't get enough Batman.
I know, there's just too much Batman in life. That's just always how it is.
My fandom is, it's wide spanning, As you may be able to see my collection in the back, it's all over the place.
I know, it's Justice League and Jason and...
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my
Jurassic
bed...
Park ones down there I can see, and...
I see you got an
Yeah,
alien
I got, like,
shelf.
Jurassic... Everything, man. Jurassic Park, everything here. My blanket, I don't know if you can see this at all, but...
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I am pretty jealous.
Yeah. My whole room is going crazy right now. But you have to, it's like it's my man cave, if you know what I'm saying. So you gotta go big.
You gotta go the distance. That's what I feel too. It's like if I could flow my camera around, you'd see more. All I got behind me is just a couple things. Well, I got a couple cool things. I got Crescent City Monsters and some Daredevil, but got everything from autographed Kevin Conroy to Battletoads to, of course, Schwarzenegger posters, Castlevania figures, Wonder Woman,
right.
all kinds of stuff.
My Conroy autograph is right there, but
just gotta get our Kevin Conroy pictures up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got one of my early pictures with Arnold back here.
Oh, that's great. He has a great Arnold story too.
This is let's see.
Signed. Oh yes.
Oh, very nice.
This one.
Those are rare, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
it's technically one of a kind.
Classic.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's like
for sure.
You
Kind of
cannot
blurry.
photograph or Photoshop.
Like different one on the back there too.
Oh, there you go.
Just,
so you can flip it back and forth. So like when somebody comes over to your house, you can have one side. Then the next time they come over, you flip it.
Right.
They're thinking they're going crazy or something.
Yeah. It was back when you could do the VIP package at the Arnold Classic, and it included a photo with Arnold, which was cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
And I see the Turbo Man back there too. I got my old Turbo Man over here. He's a little bit more worn out, but he's still there. It's the original Turbo Man that I had as a kid.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I'm in my own office right now. I'm just at Spencer's house. So
Yeah.
I got the shirt that says Hawaii on it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
fun stuff was filmed in Hawaii.
That's
yeah,
true.
Jurassic Park.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
An Arnold movie has to take place in Hawaii, I'm sure. At least one of them, maybe.
Well, they go to Hawaii and the running. Why don't they get? Do they get there?
They talk about it.
Yeah, they're going there, but they don't get there.
Right.
Yeah.
And he does have a loud Hawaiian shirt on at that point.
That's right.
Well, in the sixth day, he's got sort of, maybe not nearly as loud Hawaiian shirt, but he's got sort of one on. More like a classy Hawaiian shirt in this one.
I'm sure Arnold's been to Hawaii, so there we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's safe to say.
What have you guys been up to?
Oh, watching movies, hanging out.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, we've been recording our podcast as well. So
Yeah.
Slowly but surely,
Yeah, we got to hang out with Arnold a bit this past March. That was cool.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that was a good episode. Maybe jealous when I heard all those good conversations going on.
I mean, can you imagine seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger right there in front of you? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I feel like
I see this guy, the Gillinators, starting to interview him from across the room. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you anymore. And I was in the middle of a conversation. I just had to run over.
Escape, yeah.
I was like, I
drop what you're doing.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, well, I just got plunged into it with like no warning either. So, just like sit right here. Arnold's gonna be here. Go, okay.
Oh, well, sure. Just like it's like you're wheeled on in. The close in. Okay.
Yeah.
You got time. Go for it. Oh. But that
sandwich between Arnold and Jim Lorimer, who is Arnold's partner running the classic for years and years. So that was cool too.
I just can't beat that now. That's totally awesome. Well, this week, even though I know it's not doesn't have Arnold in it, but we do have that new Predator coming out.
Right.
Yeah.
Which by the time this
It's
episode
still
comes up,
a sequel technically. I think it's
it's
still
a
in that
third one.
universe. So.
I think it's supposed to be the fourth one technically. I think it's supposed to be
Predator
right.
the
1,
Predators
2,
was-
Predators, and then this one.
Yeah, Predators. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about it. I don't know if I'm gonna rush out to see it, but I'll see what what people are talking about it and whatnot. It looks halfway decent.
The newest stuff looks even better than the original stuff, and I think they did some reshoots as well because of some feedback from some of those trailers. So I think it from the newer footage that I've seen and the hard rating that I've heard about, I'm going to be seeing it personally.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty fun.
Well, they got Shane Black, and that's really the saving grace, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was in the first Predator film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and his movies
I
in
think-
general are just always amazing.
I think
Yeah,
they're
they
a
do.
lot of fun. If nothing else, they're fun movies to watch. So this should be at least a fun Predator film to watch.
Right.
The
You
part
know.
that won me over, just the part of the trailer, you see the one Predator just lifting the guy up, just prison shanking him, like, repeatedly, like in the Red Band trailer. I'm like, all right, this has
Yeah.
my money.
Yeah.
Well, it's like those ones. Like I like all the Predators. I like Predator 2 of Danny Glover. I like Predators. I thought that was a really good one. The Robert Rodriguez produced one. So I even like Alien vs Predator. I know it's not up to par to the other ones, but it's still fun.
How about the sequel to that, though? What do you think of that?
The Requiem.
Yeah. Requiem was, I don't know. I only watched it once, so I don't remember too much. But I remember it being kind of the worst of all of them.
Yeah, that's about how it is. But you know what? I guess some Predator's better than no Predator at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Brandon,
It's
somehow,
still-
some way we
yeah,
lost
it's
your
like-
mic there. Your mic just
Yeah,
went real
you-
low.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. It's coming back.
Is that any better?
There you go.
Or not? All right.
There we go.
Cool. I love it.
You just became a bob and head there for a second. It's like, oh no, Brandon's gone down.
I thought he was agreeing with us.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing. Everything you're saying is great, guys.
But
Good.
well, we decided today that we would do a fun movie, and plus Ryan Dunigan here had never seen this one before, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was a classic of my youth when this one came out. It was I guess because it was like the big deal is because when I was really young, I couldn't just go see like any of these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in theaters. It had to be kind of like, as a kid, your parents took you to certain ones, but they're like, well, we can't just take you to any and every single movie. So even though, granted, I think from about Jingle all the way on, I never missed a Schwarzenegger movie in theaters. But I remember when this one came out, it was a big deal. And this movie that we're trying to talk about today is the 6th Day 2000, totally awesome Schwarzenegger film.
For Adam Gibson, today is a day he'll never forget.
There's someone in my house with my family, and it's not me.
There's been a 6th-day violation. A human was cloned. That human was you.
Now, a corporation illegally cloning humans must eliminate their mistake.
They're trying to kill me because there are 2 Adam Gibsons, and that's proof that humans are being cloned. Have they been here? Who?
Hello, Adam. Would you like a beer?
Not now, Cupcake. I lost my wife, my daughter, my whole damn life tonight. How much does Gibson know?
We'll kill anyone who sees the 2 of them together. Daddy?
They'll do anything to destroy the evidence. Your family could get killed in the process. Well, what are you gonna do? Take my life back.
Adam Gibson. Wish I could say the one and only.
Who are you people?
The 6th day.
You picked the wrong guy to make 2 of. That's for sleeping with my wife.
Oh yeah. This is in the time when I could actually go to the theater by myself. So I was like, of course I'm going to go see this thing. I could literally ride. I think at the time I was riding my bike, to be honest. But I rode my bike to the theater, and I could see this thing, and I thought it was great. It was just after the time, like there was a period of time when Arnold stopped doing movies. I don't know if you remember, this time right after Batman and Robin. I guess nowadays, as everybody knows, he had the heart surgery, so he kind of quit movies for a little bit. And then he came back with End of Days, and then that some people were kind of like, well, that's not a typical Arnold movie, but this is sort of back to true Arnold form with the sci-fi elements and the action. So I thought it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of it. It's like total classic Arnold, but just like a comeback movie. And yeah, because I remember also End of Days was another one too, and I remember just being kids being just dropped off. We're like, oh, okay, what do you guys want to go see today? We want to go see End of Days. Okay, here you go, drop you off. I remember the funny thing about End of Days, we saw that movie and Toy Story 2, like as a double feature.
Wow, what a mashup. Yeah.
But then that was the same thing with like getting dropped off at the theater to go see Sixth Day. And what I really like about this movie is it kind of gives me a vibe like it's almost like a Total Recall sequel. Try to say Recall sequel, but it has the same vibes as that movie, and it kind of has that Blade Runner, that futuristic, like that thing where it's like here, just in the near future. And funny, kind of watching this movie again is so many of those like futuristic stuff really isn't that different from the technology we're using today. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff's still a little bit more futuristic, but for the most part, automated driving cars, pretty darn close to that. Even just having screens like on your refrigerator and so on, or you could have
video chatting.
Yeah, the video chatting.
Pay with your thumb. People can do that now. All that stuff. It was there. Back in, I guess the movie was made in 1999. I'm not really sure what year it was made. Usually they film it a year before.
Came out 2000, but that's how I always kind of feel. It's like whatever year it came out, it's made kind of the year prior.
Right. Yeah.
Something I kind of felt about watching this movie, because like Spencer said, I'd never seen it before. Well, actually, I saw like part of it, like the last 10 minutes on like TV one time, but I'm not counting that. It makes sense because it kind of you said Blade Runner. Not Blade Runner.
I did say Blade Runner.
You did say Blade Runner. I meant Total Recall. It makes sense. I got kind of a little bit of a RoboCop vibe because it was kind of satirical. Just so you have all this technology, but it's also very kind of like in some ways tongue in cheek, kind of satirical about it. Like this kind of how cheesy. Like you get this great technology, but then it's just really corporate, very plastic smile, kind of like the Repet thing, and then there's the creepy doll thing. Like that seems like something out of a Paul Verhoeven movie. Like I remember I was asking earlier, I was asking Spencer about Randy Jennings' collection because he apparently has the biggest Arnold collection, and when we got to the doll thing, like. Do you think he has that, or do you think he passed up on that one?
I know, we're going to go see if Randy has one of those dolls. You got one of the creepy dolls from the movie?
That's like, no, you keep that one. We're good.
That's like the one when you go into your room and you flip the light, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That Dolph Mandel was like, dude, get that shit out of here.
It's like, don't put batteries in that thing.
Yeah. Chucky no batteries included.
It's like, it almost has a feel like Chucky's sister.
Right. Yeah. I think they really wanted to make it as creepy looking as possible because. It's just over the top disturbing looking with the way her eyes are bulging and just If
it's ever looking
very
down,
unnatural.
Yeah. Whenever it's looking down, just that like fucking wide-eyed kind of half smile thing it does. Like Chucky'd be like, "Get that bitch away from me."
Well, it's like who would buy that for their kid? Literally, who?
I don't know.
That thing is so
think about
frightening.
It, guys, so somebody out there owns that movie prop in there. Like somebody has that in their doll collection. If you think about it,
that's true.
Isn't that kind of creepy? I don't know.
And there's probably a couple of them that were made just in case if one breaks. So there's probably a couple people with them. Oddly enough,
you got the one that had her head shot off. You got the one with the boo boo. All that stuff.
Yes.
Battle damage, little Annie.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to sleep, Cindy. Go to sleep. Go on.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Like all the cab drivers, the guy's got all this extra information. And here's the weird thing. Okay, if they have automated driving cars, what's with the cab driver?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I started thinking that through. Probably that cab drivers like they had the union strike where they're like, you know what? These cabs aren't driving unless we get a man in the wheel. Maybe he's not driving, but he's got to be there. Jobs need to be filled.
Someone needs to give exposition.
Who else knows how to run these dolls? People are gonna have questions.
Well,
they ain't gonna ask a computer.
Well, maybe because of the dangerous nature of the Johnny Cab, maybe they tried that and it didn't work so good, so they had to go back to drivers.
Yep, that's true. Well, the one thing about the Johnny Cab, this is always the thing I think about in Total Recall. Why is Arnold able just to reach on over and grab that joystick and just take over? Like, you know what I mean? That seems like a liability right there.
Yeah,
True. But it's in there. I don't know. It's very bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, just like, I guess if that was maybe like under like a latched hatch or something like that, but it's just like he just reaches across and goes for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I guess aesthetically it looks better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the problem was, they're like, well, he's got to control it somehow. It's not like he's going to be able to strangle the Johnny Cab, robot,
Yeah.
Because that thing's driving it through computers, It's not just, hands on the wheel kind of robot.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, and I think they handled technology in the 6th Day pretty well overall. Like the whole cloning, the pets thing, like I thought it was totally believable.
Yeah. It would start with animals, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be kind of how the public would be seeped into the idea of being okay with cloning in general.
Yeah.
Well, this comes just right after Dolly the sheep? It was called Dolly?
Yeah, Dolly the sheep.
Yeah.
Right.
So when they cloned that sheep, over in, where did they do it? Europe or something like that? Sweden? Somewhere? I don't know. Can't remember what that was.
Somewhere.
That was a huge story at one point in time, and I almost kind of forgot about it until the 6th Day brought it back up again in the very beginning.
Yes, it puts it right there in the beginning.
First 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that right there is kind of where it goes, but it's just kind of that interesting thing of, like, taking that cloning and, like, what you can do with it and, like, who has the power and, like, I just also like the idea that, like, if all the villains that kind of chase after him, like, every single time they die, they can just be recloned back together, and then you got a whole new soldier once again without having to retrain them, without having to, like, find somebody else and see if they're, effective. In 2 hours, you can have yourself your soldier right back again.
Yeah, that's true. But speaking of the soldiers, the goons they did choose to clone over and over were kind of buffoons, at least, like, because you got like
Terry
the guy
Crews
from The Walking Dead. Terry Crews, of course, is fantastic. I don't know if he even died once. I'm not sure.
I think he does die toward the end, but maybe just once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, so his character was pretty competent, but like the guy who the Daryl wannabe from The Walking Dead. What was his name? I forget.
Michael Rooker.
No, that's the guy. That's the guy from Guardians.
No, that guy's in Walking Dead.
He's
in Walking Dead.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
He was the redneck brother in the first season. Got his arm cut off. That guy.
Oh, I only saw the first couple episodes.
He's in that.
Oh well,
been a while.
That was also 10 years ago too.
Yeah.
But
that's true. That's true.
Well, yeah, you got him, and then you got. Well, then there's also just like the
Square Enix looking guy.
Yeah, the guy looks like a
villain out of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, with the piercings and like the spiked up red hair.
He's the one that died the most.
Yeah, and you're like, why do you keep bringing that guy back? Like, why is that guy so important to this job?
Yeah, he's kind of the dumbass of the group. Yeah,
they should have had it be like somebody's brother or something, because otherwise it was like sort of kind of ridiculous. They kept bringing him back,
Yeah, and they say it's like 1.2 million each time they have to do it. So.
I kind of liked that character because he was there just to die over and over, and every time he came back, I was expecting that to be a plot point at some point because my chest hurts. Like, dude, it is mental. Just get over it. It's just a mental thing. Don't. Then all of a sudden, like, he looks like he's dead. No, he's got a pulse. We'll get up. He's like, his neck's just sagging, tongue hanging out.
That was hilarious.
That's one of the best parts. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Trying to pass him off and Arnold's line saying, "Try to stay dead this time."
I like that whenever they come back to life, whenever they wake up, they just got shot. They like, god damn it! They just look around. They realize they got
a son of a bitch.
It's like they wake up the moment that they died. It's like right where they restart at, which is kind of neat.
And then the lady, she's like used to it. Just goes to her own corpse, takes off the earrings, like it's no big deal. Like it's more of an annoyance.
All right, yeah, and stuff. Yeah,
it's a disturbing kind of way to look at it there.
Color of her hair did you guys prefer? I was more in the blonde, when like her natural, just cloned state. Some people like the red, and some people like the green. Did you guys have a preference to her overall style?
Well, she's got kind of that Run Lola Run look, that ultra 90s, like almost like Euro kind of techno band kind of look.
That's true.
I think she's a
Yeah.
good looking lady
You know.
either way, but I prefer the red is if we're going for a villain.
Yeah, I'll go with the green just to have a difference.
You're that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
I like the
Green is
blonde.
The blonde was my favorite. If I had to choose one of her 2 colored versions, I would have gone with the green just because that's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of biased. But
Yeah, that's how I feel. Green, yeah, green all the way for that part. But you know what's another thing that's really funny that I kind of forgot is at the very beginning of the movie when it starts off, it's like they got the XFL going in it. It's like, oh yeah, that really takes you back right away.
They thought
The
that was gonna last.
long-lived XFL, right?
yeah.
Because that was all of like a 2-year extreme period, and that was about it. Maybe
Right.
3 years, maybe, but
I don't think so.
maybe not. No, that's probably
That
pushing
long.
it.
Going pretty quick. Yeah.
But those are just those small things. It's like that, you know. I mean, how many movies have it like just XFL in there, just boom, right off the bat?
Right.
All around that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they may be onto something with the XFL because XFL is apparently come back. It's being ran by isn't Vince McMahon?
Well, he's the one that owns it.
Yeah, aren't
He
they
did-
bringing it back though?
Right.
They might be. I don't know.
He's trying to bring
Oh.
it back, and he's doing this thing. Not only do we want good players, they have to be good people too. No controversy, none of that. Good old Christian boys. Just saying, all right, Vince.
Well, that's kind of how WWE is at the moment. It's very like they're doing the very like straight laced, you know, made for a 10-year-old boy type shows. It's very safe, very
but it's
PG.
still extreme.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, what if they're doing the XFL again?
It's still real to me, damn it.
yeah.
You know that guy
Yeah.
on the internet? No. Anyway.
The
It's a
XFL. I guess
YouTube
they could do it for their
guy.
WWE network.
Mhm.
That might be what's going on.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
But I don't know. Maybe they want more programming or something. Who knows? But I just think it was just funny. It's like, oh man, there's XFL right there in the beginning. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. They wanted to capitalize on that, and I always think it's hilarious having the heads-up display in the football players too.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it's like yeah, they might do that, but it's like the way they depict it is like these, blinking huge letters in your face, blitz or whatever. And I would think the players would be annoyed by that more than helped.
Obscuring your field of vision in the middle of the game.
Right, yeah, just getting in your way.
But that goes into almost like kind of Google glasses and that kind of like technology. So this movie's really like forerunning a lot of stuff, even if it's in a different
Definitely,
way.
yeah.
The one thing is kind of
augmented reality.
Yeah, it does have a
Yeah.
lot of like the 3D. What do you call that? Like in Star Wars.
Hologram.
Yeah, the holograms.
Oh, the
They use a lot of that.
yes.
And
Yeah.
it's still for a movie. We've been teased about that in movies for years. And where is our like holograms as we're walking around the mall?
You can find
That's
him
a
at,
darn
you can find
good
him at
question.
Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Haven't
That's a
gotten
rare
there yet.
case.
Oh yeah, if you get like those concerts like that,
Yeah.
you get like Elvis Presley in the Blade Runner movie.
Yeah. Like I'm winning. You could see like Nirvana hologram. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
All these bands have passed.
I guess now you can see a Chris Cornell hologram.
Don't say. I'm just getting over it. Don't bring it up. Too soon.
I mean, this movie was supposed to take place in 2015, I think. So it's already like Back to the Future now, in the past, but its technology is still too far ahead. I don't know.
Does it ever say the date in this movie?
No.
Okay.
They say in the near future, but it's been I don't know. One of the writers or someone said that it was supposed to be 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Arnold mentions it in the Future is Coming documentary, I think, something like that.
There you go. Yes.
Now, do you guys have is there a special edition of this movie? Because I just have the old DVD version of it, and it's like I looked at the special features, and I'm like, oh, all it's got is the audio commentary and like the trailer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got the 2-disc.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Well, I see what I need to get now.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of things on the second disc. It's the movie itself is exactly the same. They don't add anything or stuff like that. But yeah, it's got On the Sixth Day, which is 9 behind the scenes featurettes, and then there's a special that aired on Showtime, which is that one called The Future is Coming, and then some storyboard stuff, and the usual trailers and things.
Well, that's one I definitely need to get. I wonder if they got that one on Blu-ray, because I always hate when they make a Blu-ray and they don't have the special features on it.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking to you,
That's the
Commando. The
worst.
first version it came out. I remember when that came out, I was like, oh, sweet, that must have the director's cut on it. Nope, no, it didn't. That's just... Guess
You're gonna make your way to the 50th anniversary, then you get that.
I know. Now I just go back and I just watch the DVD. I just gotta go, well, I guess I'm not watching. Not like the director's cut really has a whole lot. It's like 30 extra seconds in Commando, but I like those 30 extra seconds.
30 extra seconds of murder?
Oh, yeah.
There's like 2 more scenes of violence and there's like 2 more scenes of dialogue. That's what I can kind of notice when I watch the Commando director's cut.
Yeah, I think they do some more stuff in that shed, right?
Yeah.
Or around that.
Well, there's a couple scenes too where like it shows a guy get hit, but then you'll see there's like a second scene of the guy like laying on the ground like bleeding out and so on. And I think the guy that gets his arm sliced off, there's like a second part to it that's thrown in there. There's kind of just like extended parts to it. There's nothing like radically changed, but
like the arm flopping against the ground. That's new.
Yeah, there is one where his arm's
Am I
kind of
thinking there's like a Kill Bill moment or something? Like there's blood spraying like in Kill Bill, or am I wrong?
There is blood spraying like Kill Bill when he slices that arm off. That was the worst mistake those guys could do, is go to that tool shed.
Yeah. Bad idea.
That's got Jeff Loeb writing on that one, and it's directed by the guy who also did Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So there's just those little things there, but well, I had a fun kind of Arnold question, though I'm assuming that probably 90% of us have the exact same like answer, and because I was thinking about that when I was watching Commando and like how many versions of this movie I've bought over time, and I was like, well, what's the movie do you think you've bought more times in an Arnold movie than anything else? You know, through your VHSs, Laserdiscs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and so on.
T2.
I mean, it's gonna probably be the same exact answer for the Gillinator and I'm gonna be guess, but
yeah. Yep, you said it. T2.
I think
for sure.
so.
Guys!
Yeah. And you want to know what's the weird thing is? I probably have more T2 copies, but I actually don't have a Blu-ray one.
Oh man!
I have two. I had 2 copies on VHS. I have 2 copies on Laserdisc. I got the original DVD one that had the flippy, like the one where it's like there's like one disc but it had dual sides, which they thought that was a cool idea, and that's mostly just kind of reserved for cheaper DVDs now. And then I got like this, like another version of that on the 2-disc version, where it was like the second special one, but that's all I got there. But Commando, I got 5 versions of. Oddly enough, I don't know how that kind of happened.
You need to get the Endo Arm Blu-ray.
I know.
That's what you need to do.
I need that one on Blu-ray. There's a couple Arnold movies I don't have on Blu-ray still, like The Sixth Day too. But
forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
Is the endo arm, is the case literally the arm, and you open it up and it's like a bunch of discs?
It's not in the arm, but it includes the arm.
That's worth it alone. Because I was like, how is that going to fit on my DVD shelf? Yeah.
Well, it's like there's sometimes some of those DVDs that just do not fit properly on. Like I have the original Total Recall DVD, or maybe it's not the original one, but the one that's the Mars one, and it's in a circular case.
Yes, that I have that one too. That's a good one.
And it's going alphabet.
In fact, I like the case for that one so much. I swapped the Blu-ray into that one because
the case is just too cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys see this at all?
Oh my gosh,
that is sexy massive. As fuck. That for the listeners.
Yeah.
Brandon's got an amazing T2 arm right there. I just want to say this. I like the idea. It's almost kind of worth it if the disc was in there somewhere, because you go to your DVD shelf, it's all alphabetical. You get to T, just this thing.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to be like the actual size. I thought it was going to be kind of like a little miniature or something like that. It's like, oh my gosh, that thing's massive.
You could beat up a fucking, someone comes to your house, just beat him up with that fucking thing. Rob him like
start whacking him with it. Yeah. I could. But I haven't even. It's so big. I haven't even made space, on my shelf to put it out yet. It's just like I don't.
Where do you put it? You know what I mean? It needs its own shelf.
Kind of does. Yeah. I have the endo skull, the life-size endo skull. So I'm gonna try to work it in next to that, but we'll see. It's huge.
Now you need you have the chip for the brain.
I have a little USB, or not a USB, like a keychain chip, so I think it's like about the right size.
Perfect.
I want to get the one that's in like that little capsule though. I'm sure some people have seen the prop. I want to get that just to have it be official, but I'm working on it, guys. Okay, I'm working.
So just in case you get that point where you got John Connor it and grab and just shatter it on your ground to get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy money.
Easy.
Yeah.
But But
Yeah.
man, going back and watching The Sixth Day, that's one of those movies like I've watched it a bunch, throughout life, but I probably haven't seen it in a handful of years. So,
Right.
it's one of those ones where you sit down, watch it, and it's almost like it's a good movie, but you almost forget how good of a movie that one is.
Yeah, it doesn't spring to mind immediately when you're like, listing off Arnold's great movies or whatever. And it's probably, it's definitely not as like top tier, but it is, a solid, action sci-fi entry. Like we said, it ticks off all the usual Arnold movie stuff you want to see. The good action, the one-liners, the cool technology stuff, and the kind of biting commentary on society and things like that. And it's pretty solid. The only thing that I think would make it better is if they went for the R rating instead of just the PG-13.
And I don't know. I've always kind of wondered what exactly like that choice was. It's one of those weird movies though where I will say it's PG-13, but it doesn't really seem that bad because I think the lasers kind of make up for the violence and so on.
Right.
But
yeah.
It would be kind of cool if you would get that cool Total Recall violence kind of added into there. And maybe it was just because Arnold was doing his last rated R movie. Well, I guess he did Into Days right beforehand, so.
Right.
It's not out of the question, but maybe that was what it was. Maybe it was like, okay, you did End of Days, that's rated R. Let's do a PG-13 movie to get some of the, your kid fans in, and
T3 after that, I think.
Yeah, and then T3 right after that, along with Collateral Damage. I think came before T3.
Right, Collateral Damage. Right. And then there was a break because of 9/11 and everything. So
I know. I remember that made me so angry. I was like, "What? You can't put Collateral Damage out? It's supposed to come out right here in the end of September or whatever. Now I got to wait till March or whatever."
The terrorists just won.
Yeah. Obviously, the terrorists won if you take away our Arnold pictures.
and it was extra disappointing for me because the Collateral Damage was scheduled to premiere at the Chicago Film Festival, and where I happened to live at the time. So I was all set to go there for it and everything, and then it was delayed, and then they never did the Chicago thing then. So
dang it.
Yeah, I was very bummed.
And I know I've probably told this to you guys before because I seem to bring it up every single time someone brings up Collateral Damage, but in Schwarzenegger's biography or autobiography, he mentions that there's a whole extra ending scene that was shot, edited, put together, ready for release, and then they totally switched it. I still want Warner Brothers to kind of, come on guys, let's see a director's cut or an alternate cut of that movie because, it sounds like it's a whole, one of those kind of films where there's 25 minutes. Almost perfect examples, if you watch, there's that Mel Gibson movie Payback, there's a director's cut, and the whole third act, 30-something minutes, is completely different footage. I'm guessing that's kind of what Collateral Damage is. I bet you it's a complete different... Because the whole point, the reason why they had to cut it out was they literally hijacked an airplane, and it was going toward a building, and Arnold Schwarzenegger had to stop them because they got the family on there. And you can kind of tell that they went back and did almost like a reshoot, because what do they do? Well, they're in a parking garage.
It's very disjointed.
That is the
end up
ultimate
there,
reshoot area. Okay, let's get this done. We don't want anything to get in our way. We don't want the sun to change on us. It doesn't matter what type of day it is. Let's just do it in this parking garage. We can rent it out real cheap.
Justice League took cues from that.
Yeah.
Once again, a Warner Brothers pick thing.
Yeah, it must be a Warner Brothers thing, but it's one of those ones, whenever I think about Collateral Damage, I remember just reading that in Arnold's book. I'm like, what? Come on, Warner Brothers. We got to go find this. Where is this footage sitting?
In that Raiders of the Lost Ark, of just warehouse.
Yeah, just where Bugs Bunny's pushing back these reels of film.
Right, yeah.
But gosh, that'd be so cool to see that. It'd be cool if there was even a director's cut of Sixth Day. I know that's probably asking much there because that movie feels like it's just kind of complete. But you never know. They might have here's our rated R take. But I'm pretty sure this movie started off just PG-13 all the way. It wasn't one of those let's change it the last second.
Probably, because just since they were shooting lasers, then they didn't have to have a lot of blood. They could just cauterize wounds immediately, and they got their one F-bomb in there. So
I thought that going off what you said, I think you said it, Ryan, was it still works as a PG-13 movie, and it still totally but it could almost would be better almost go than R, because I thought of like, just watch the part when they blow up the tank and all like the Blink clones just come out. I'm like, if this was an R-rated movie, they could have some creepy, like almost Silent Hill-esque thing where they're like, they're all just reaching and he's got to walk through them, trying to grab his gun.
It got close to that. I mean, it was kind of, freaky as it was, but and like when the one blank clone blinks its eyes open and is like twitching around some, and
right.
But yeah, they could go a lot further with that for sure.
I do like how the evil scientist guy, how he's dying and his clone is like, all right, give me your clothes. Let's make this quick. He's like, what? You're not going to wait till I die? No, give me your fucking shirt. Let's make this happen. Come on.
It's like, would you?
Yeah.
Right.
Ryan, did you see this movie was directed by the guy who did Tomorrow Never Dies?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dries.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Well, that makes sense, though, because
that's a 007 themed car wash. Yeah.
That villain, yeah, I know, Tomorrow Never Dries. Tomorrow Never Dries. But, that villain in Sixth Day, he almost feels kind of like the younger version of the Tomorrow Never Dies newspaper guy.
The Rupert Murdoch kind of character.
Yeah, the guy's like, I know everything. I program the world.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, 007?
To be fair, this guy in the movie, it's one of those things like, you kind of see where he stands, you get his point, but it's just the evil way he's going about it. And then it gets into the thing of like, well, that's why we give them a short lifespan. If they fuck us over, we could just kill them right there. If they work for us, then we just bring them back to life. Everybody wins. So that's like you had me up until there.
Right, he takes it one step too far. It's like, you're a little psycho.
Well, it's like Robert Duvall's kind of like the little bit more heart of that business. He's the old scientist working. It's kind of weird. You got this really young guy in there who's running things, and then you got Robert Duvall like, go back to your laboratory and make me something.
It is like the Steve Jobs, Dave Wozniak kind of thing.
Yeah, it has that almost kind of vibe where Robert Duvall's doing all the hard labor, and then this guy's just kind of doing the marketing and publicizing everything.
Right, the face of the company.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, Duvall was a great choice, though. I loved what Duvall did. Like he totally went for the role. Like he didn't kind of like do any kind of half-assed or oh, I'm doing this silly movie kind of thing. No, he committed to that. So that was good.
Well, I like that, and I just also even like him and his interaction with his wife and so on. How they kind of have that, like, once you kind of figure out, it's like, oh, she is a clone, you know what I mean? And he's kind of kept her around, but now she just says, like, you know what, I want to go. And I like the way you kind of learn. It's like when they say she got a disease, they're like, oh, they got a disease you get as a child, and they died in their 5 years, just like early on. Like she's not supposed to be alive with something like this, and then that kind of makes you go, oh. It's because she's a clone and that body's only like a couple years old, And I think that's just kind of interesting thing. And then, of course, Robert Duvall figures out later on that his partner to put in those diseases and stuff for a safeguard.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
He's got his own...
one of those genetic tampering things. We got to be careful.
Little kill switch, built into the people.
Everything with this character, like the wife, felt pretty sincere. Because the rest of the movie is kind of like just a big fun action movie, but this is like the one part where it's like, let's stop and get dramatic for a minute.
They gave it heart. They actually kind of delve into the ethical, moral issues that are, kind of undercurrent to the whole cloning thing, and they actually, kind of, and like Arnold says what you get to play God, and who decides who lives and dies, and that kind of thing, and so they kind of it's this popcornish film for the most part, but then they do take it serious at certain points like that.
Well, I feel like it actually is dealing with some real big issues almost in a sense, and it does it in a fun action way. I mean, because Arnold Schwarzenegger's job is, what's he do? He flies a futuristic helicopter and takes extreme sports guys up to the mountains.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does kind of have that because you don't really think about cloning. It's almost like it's such an interesting topic that really has kind of gone on the wayside. Nobody brings that up anymore. But just the fact of cloning organs, cloning pets, if someone has a disease, I like that one part where even our villain guy when he's talking to the mall or wherever they're always at a mall giving a speech. For some reason that's the hubbub. They kind of forgot that malls would start to die off in the future. But when he talks about like, okay, we can save this one kid over here, you know, because he's got a disease and stuff. But what about this kid who's got, you know, this brain tumor that you can't operate on it, you can't do anything about it. The only thing you can do is clone him and bring him back to life. Now, what are you going to do to tell those parents? You're going to say, nope, Billy's got to die, or you want to clone him.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I never thought of it like that before. Right, somebody out there's like, no, kill Billy! He's a demon sent from hell!
Right.
Because there's always those protesters everywhere you go.
It's Westboro Baptist Church.
Right.
Still hanging in there.
Soulless clone.
It would get treated as less than human. And the weird, but it's a weird issue because it really is more for the people, not the person they're cloning, but the people, you know, who are the parents or whatever, or wife or husband or whatever, because that person really isn't quite the same person. You know, it's like they just obtained all these memories from the other one. So it's definitely a weird rabbit hole to go down. When you think about what it'd be like to be a clone or something, and it reminds me of these. I don't know if you guys have seen the series on Netflix, Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Any of those?
That one's really good.
Yeah, some of those delve into these kind of like, you know, technology in the future and the dark side of it and what it means, and they kind of dabble with those, like, you know, it's not, they don't do cloning, but in one of them I think they like extract the entire memory of someone and put it in a little chip. And
instead of like a stuffed animal or something.
Yeah, well, they put it in this device that's supposed to be like your home automation system, basically.
Oh, I remember that one too.
Because because it knows all your preferences because it has your entire memory. But meanwhile, there's this little version of that person in there that still thinks that they're the real person because they have the memories. So it's that kind of weird. And then they can torture them into subservience, basically.
Where they said it like for like they okay, well, it's only 2 seconds for us, but it's 3,000 days for them now.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Then there's the one where there's.
I was gonna say this real quick before you go any farther. When you said like you put your mind into a stuffed animal, all I picture is like, do we gonna be like Ted in the future? Like you die. It's like, oh, Ryan died the other day. Oh, where is he at? Oh, he's a stuffed animal. Just comes walking in the room now, like, hey, what's going on, guys?
You guys not.
Still sucks.
You guys have not seen the last season of Black Mirror yet?
I've never seen the show. I just hear when Kevin Smith talks about it. That's all I know of it.
Right.
Oh, it's a pretty good show.
There's the one.
It is good, but quite depressing a lot of the time.
I won't stay hung up on it, but then there's the one that's kind of very similar to that where the guy dies, but all his social media activity is uploaded to a cloud. So it's like, oh, so you get to talk to an AI of him. So his widow is always talking to him like, you know, you could upload this into a robot that looks just like him, and then it's just not the same thing, and she just gets even more depressed. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a creepy one too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're so obsessed with like saving ourselves in a way, you know, our memories and stuff. So cloning is sort of if you think about it, it really would not happen like it does in the movie. You know, usually you get a baby clone and you have to wait for that thing to grow up to actually look like, you know, the person again. But it is kind of fun to think about having like this life-size human adult just waiting to like morph into whatever. I'm not sure the technology for that actually exists.
Yeah.
For science classes, do you think to like religious science classes, do you think to scare kids off from the idea of cloning, they show the bad guy speech from this? Like, all right, kids, this is why Jesus don't like cloning. All right, listen to what this Steve Jobs ripoff has to say. See that? He just shot Robert Duvall.
Just have like the hard edited version of it where you just like it's like shown in 5 minutes, but it's just shown to just like as a religious kind of picture. Just even has a part where I was like, only God makes the decision, you know.
Arnold says it, so you know it's true.
Just doesn't have the rest of it.
Yes, exactly.
See, and it even shows smoking's bad and everything, just like Demolition Man. I always love that part too, where like Arnold, like and his like buddy or whatever, his work friend, he's like, yeah, he was smoking your stogie there. You smoked my stogie?
Yeah.
Like that's the worst thing he could have done.
Damn minivan.
Yes.
In the minivan. I like how it's like almost like, oh my god, it's a stogie. Like almost like it's like some highly illegal drug. Like shit, we can't do this in front of the kid. What if she grows up and have you seen the PSAs?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
You know what's funny is I think there's another movie that came out around the same time that's not nearly as good as... Actually, I'll say this. It's actually really not that great of a movie, but it has that... There's that movie by... It's a Robin Williams movie, and I hate to kind of say a Robin Williams movie's not good, but that 1 Hour Photo...
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, he's like...
I thought you were going to say Bicentennial Man.
No, I actually kind of like that movie. I know that one got kind of, like, hate on, but that's still kind of a fun movie in a weird way. But that's actually true, because that's, like, same time as this, too, but... In 1 Hour Photo, because the whole point is he's taking people's memories and like sort of editing them together, like the good stuff, you know. And I remember that movie just ends like super dark and bleak. And I don't know, maybe that's weird because I watched it as a kid, and you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah. Why is he not funny?
I liked it just because it referenced
the genie from Aladdin.
I liked it just because it referenced Evangelion, which is something I never thought I would see in a major motion picture. So,
well, it's almost one of those ones. I wonder if I'd like that movie more now than then. Like a go back picture. Yeah. Did you guys ever see 1 Hour Photo?
I never saw that one. No,
it's not,
I heard about it.
Photo for sure.
It's like essentially it's back when he like works like at kind of like a Long's Drugs or a CVS kind of 1 Hour Photo booth, and he starts to kind of like. After serving this after doing all these photos, he gets attached to this one family, and he's in love with the family through the photos. And then,
I remember that part. I thought the one where he edits people's memories was a different movie, but maybe
different.
Is that a different movie then?
Yeah.
Well, crap.
1 Hour Photo is then he starts to think of himself as a member of the family.
What the heck's the other movie then?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It's like I don't remember. It's a weird one. It's He definitely, it's like he sees himself like some memory as a kid, and then he's like, I don't know, they cut out parts of the memory. I don't know, it's a really weird movie.
I thought you were speaking metaphorically for a second, Spencer. Like he re-edits the memories. Like, oh,
right.
Okay.
No, this movie that I'm talking about, he literally takes people's memories and like...
The Final Cut, I think it's Final Cut.
Yeah, Final Cut, that's it.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, that's a little bit...
1 Hour Photo a few years before.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Final Cut.
It was a good... Yeah, that era is kind of like all about people's memories in different ways, because there's like you got that, you've got Minority Report.
Yep,
was another kind of one.
The Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise. Well, that's a movie I keep saying I want to watch again because I haven't seen that one since it came out.
That one's good.
Yeah, that's why I remember it being awesome. Remember, they even had a video game of Minority Report, which is kind of rare at that time period. Because all I was thinking was watching 6 Days, like, man, why was there not a video game of this?
Right, yeah. It's perfect for that. And it's and that was another one that was kind of supposed to be a sequel to Total Recall, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Minority Report. Well, I remember kind of hearing something about that. Like, there's a handful of those movies that they were like, they started off and then they're like, well, let's go to something else instead.
Apparently, Tears of the Sun was originally supposed to be another Die Hard, and like it's getting a little too dramatic, and they changed a few things around and made it something else.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Tears of the Sun was supposed to be like a prequel to like Total Recall.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a weird one to there.
Well, this movie right here, there is that part where he says they're very vague with it, because he served in the military because he wears a pilot's jacket. It has a couple of those patches.
He fought in the Rainforest War.
The Rainforest War, yeah. Which war was that? The one where they fought in the rainforest. Duh. Like, oh, that one.
Well, like, what is that war? They like, is that the war that like Anthony Kiedis and Flea started? Like, for trying to protect there. But it does kind of have like almost just like Starship Troopers, because in that movie they're like living in Argentina and stuff like that. Like that's the new place to be like. That's the new like almost America is like Argentina and stuff in the future. I kind of wonder because this movie, even at the very end, Arnold's like spray painting Argentina on the helicopter and so on, and they're kind of moving down there. I don't know if that's supposed to be like, okay, clones are accepted down south. You can go live out your days down there.
They don't judge. They're a little more progressive.
Yeah,
that's true.
But what's the place that this movie takes place in? What's that town called again? It's the other name that's on there.
I think it was clothing brand. Patagonia.
Yeah, Patagonia. I think that's what it says on the helicopter or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that must be the new place to be hanging out at. Not New York, not Chicago, anywhere else.
No. It was filmed up in Canada somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder what town that's supposed to be then.
I do like that how it's futuristic, but still it's like right by the water. It kind of gives a little bit more of kind of like, you just don't see it. It's usually straight future, no more nature, that's gone. I like how it's a little bit of the both.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, it gives that kind of good, like,
not dystopian future.
Yeah, like it's more of an optimistic future, and it's supposed to be like that just right around the corner.
Right, right. Yeah. It's familiar enough. Yeah. You could see it going there.
Yeah. I mean, thank God we don't have those digital girlfriends, though, because the human race would be gone by this point.
Well, you know, Japan's still working on them, so.
Oh, they're hard at work.
Yeah.
They only got more inspired.
Now, what was he sensing? What, she's just a hologram. So we were talking about this earlier, Gillimator. Is it like a Terminator TX hand coming out from the chair? Like what? Right,
God,
yeah.
Grasp's a little
What's
cold,
the unzippering mechanism there?
Talk about a death grip. I don't know.
It could have like that, like in Killing Gunther, where like the robot hand just like when it battery runs out, it just closes.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly.
Just call them the paramedics. Like, yeah, it happened again.
Because it's like the futuristic American Pie.
It's the future. We can clone you a new dick.
Cause of life will be a whole new meaning. It'll be tiny. Anyway.
It's American Pie 5 when Jason Biggs, gets a sex robot in the house when the wife's out of town.
Got into your dad's hologram again.
Eugene Levy's like, well, these things happen, son. I know that I'm like 80 now and you're 52.
By this point, he's already 80. By this point, like Eugene Levy is like a head in a tank on top of a robot.
And it's just like these spider legs that come walking over.
Well, son. Like, just makes that noise whenever it comes in. Just,
son, do we need to go over these things again? I know we've gone over many times throughout life, but it never hurts to have a refresher.
Well, I see. Now's a bad time. I'll come back later.
I think the sci-fi American Pie is what everybody needs.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Go Indigo.
Untapped comedy.
Indigo Fund Me, kickstart that. Even though we don't have the rights to it.
You know what I do like though is that
stop playing with your sim pal Cindy too.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing with her.
Yeah.
She's more than your personal AI assistant.
It's fun, but it's not a game. You need a real partner. I like that.
Now, have you guys heard about some of the? Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say this real quick. I like how in the friend's room in there though, he's got an N64 though on top of the TV.
Oh, nice.
Man, I didn't realize that.
I don't know the actor's name, but he's like everybody's blue collar friend from the 90s.
Oh yeah, he's in like True Romances. I always say it's like Brad Pitt's roommate, but it's really the other way around. Brad Pitt's the roommate. He's not paying any of the. He just shows up.
He was also in Boston Public, and he was the no nonsense teacher from Brooklyn. That whole thing.
He's in Copland, with Stallone and the rest of the gang there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because Ryan Dunigan's brother looks identical to that guy. So whenever I see that guy, it's like, dude, it's your brother.
Nice.
But
Easy.
6th Day, just always good. But what were you gonna say, Brandon?
Oh, have you heard about some of the potential the what if castings that could have been? For instance, Jack Nicholson was considered for the role of what's his name, the villain, the lead villain guy.
Oh, really?
Going for Robert Duvall or for like
Drucker.
the
villain,
Michael Drucker, that character. Yeah. Now, can you imagine? You got Robert Duvall, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jack in one movie. Like this movie could have gone down as one of the biggest sci-fi movies ever.
Chewed up the scenery there.
I think that Jack Nicholson probably would have been he's evil as fuck, but I think he could have done a better job of like explaining. You know what? Jack Nicholson makes it sound cooler. Why? Because he's Jack Nicholson.
Right. He's just been like, of course we wanted cloning people is great, and of course he could play God. He's Jack.
He's just wearing the sunglasses. Like, have you ever just wanted to fuck yourself? What? I'm just curious. Did you ever just want to? Or clone have
could.
5 of the same girlfriend.
Well,
But it's okay because you have an inoperable brain tumor, so
All right.
it's the only way.
And everybody jump into the pile of cocaine.
just swimming through
All
it.
right.
This is illegal, but not for me, because I'm Jack.
He kept ad-libbing. That's why when they went with the other guy.
And he always wanted to be called Jack in the movie. He just, he just thought it made it easier.
Right.
Well, was there some other actors and stuff that they kind of had in this initially that they? Well, I mean, all movies they mostly always do, but anybody big like that or cool or interesting?
There was one more. Do you remember that one, Gillinator?
No, I can't.
Kevin Costner, I believe, was up for the lead role, Arnold's role.
Yeah, that's right.
And personally, I'm going to say thank God his scheduling did not allow it because Arnold was perfect for this.
This is much more of I think the movie's more memorable because Arnold's in it. No offense to Mr. Costner, but
You know what's weird though is that comes up a lot that Kevin Costner and Arnold were both considered for the same roles in a lot of these movies, and it's kind of it's such really those you think those two guys? I mean,
wouldn't think.
If you would have said Stallone and Arnold, or even somebody else in that kind of category, but it's I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Kevin Costner a lot. I'll see just about anything that he's in.
He's a great actor.
But it's just such a weird, because that changes your movie completely. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really would. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that his scheduling. I'm not even sure. I guess we could kind of go look. What did he do around 2000 instead? But yeah, it's interesting that he turned it. He just couldn't do it. And it would have been more like that. What is that I Murder movie he just made? Back in the early 2000s. I forget, but
where he was,
it would have been interesting.
He was like a serial killer, and he was
doing
hanging out with Dane Cook. That one.
I guess he did 13 Days or something like that instead, because that came out in 2000. What is that?
Don't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They?
Yeah.
Something about the Cuban Missile Crisis, but.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was Mr. Brooks, where he was like a serial killer, and he was hanging out, and Dane Cook was like the witness.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of, but. I mean, yeah. So it's just interesting, I could see Kevin Costner doing something like this, but I'm glad that Arnold got the role overall, because it just made it more fun, I think.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect one for it. Is this is a total Arnold role. It's kind of got that big over the top feeling that you kind of need. You need that action star kind of. I'm not saying that Kevin Costner's not an action star. He's in tons of great action movies, but it's a different dynamic when you had that,
Right.
It would have changed the movie a lot. And I'm thinking about is Kevin Costner really in a whole lot of sci-fi movies too much? I mean, you could say Waterworld sort of sci-fi, but it's more
right. He did those epic ones Waterworld, The Postman.
The Postman. He did all those movies that cost tons of money and then had a hard time making money back, even though they're really good films.
Not the star of it, but I mean, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah.
So.
But he's more just a father saying don't save him. What? Yeah, the school bus goes. Yeah, school bus is drowned. But you know what? Screw them. You know what? Those kids aren't even good to you too. I see what they do.
Johnson boy was on that bus. Fuck that kid.
Yeah. Was he trying to light ants on fire the other day in our dry grass? Yeah, I hate that kid. Glad he drowned. Dad, he didn't drown. Oh. Well, could you go back there and put him down there? I mean, save the rest of it. Don't save him.
You'll earn my respect, son, if you do that for me.
Yeah. Let the kids drown, son. Yeah. That was pretty crazy.
But no, yeah. Nothing but good times. 6 Days, one of those movies. If you've never seen that before, you've got to go out and check that out because that is just a great film.
Oh, yeah.
And I think by nowadays it is kind of. I remember it being a big movie, but I guess if you kind of missed it when it came out, it kind of gets in the hidden gem section of Schwarzenegger films.
Right.
It doesn't stay up there with Conan and Terminator and Total Recall and Predator and all the big ones. Last Action Hero, because that movie's kind of had a comeback nowadays, and True Lies and so on. That one's more kind of it's almost in the Red Heat kind of category, Raw Deal, where it's kind of got lost. And it's not saying it's it's at that point where once you've seen the other ones, you start to go deeper into the Arnold realm, and then you start to find the next movies and so on.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
But
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a hidden gem at this point.
Good news though.
But,
new Arnold fans.
When I was glancing at some stuff for IMDb, this movie shot up in popularity a lot recently, so that's good. That's kind of
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
I didn't realize that. You think maybe like just because of cloning and genetic technology and all that's kind of a big deal right now?
I think a little bit of that and people's nostalgia, because once something gets 10 years, they start to go, oh, I wonder if, and then when it gets 20 years, it starts to become classic again.
Right,
that's true. Yep.
Yeah, it comes back some. Yeah, I mean, this had it had some just great one-liners, of course. The one I mentioned, tried to stay dead this time, and
yeah, I'm all thumbs today.
I'm all thumbs today. Yes, I'm all thumbs.
Yeah, that was a great line.
I cracked up when I saw that. Yeah.
Does Austrian Death Machine have any songs from this movie?
Gosh, I don't even know if Arnold Corps has a 6 Day song.
Yes, I believe they do.
Oh, I actually.
That's good. That's good.
I'd be surprised if somebody had more of a Raw Deal song before they had a 6 Day song, but still.
Yeah.
Or Carnival in Rio song. Nobody's got that one yet.
I can't. Yeah, they still gotta get to that one.
You can get on all thumbs today. You can get. You could definitely get the. Go fuck yourself, or I didn't mean it literally, or something like that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say. I want to say Arnold Corps has one, but I don't know if Austrian Death Machine has a 6 Day song or so. Good question there. But if anything, you could never have enough 6 Day. That's all I have to say.
That's right.
Even rhymes too.
Yeah, so it's true.
Well, guys, not that.
I mean, you just watched it recently. I just want to ask really quick. Did you see the big twist coming that Arnold? Or I'm guessing talking spoilers here. That Arnold wasn't really the real Arnold. As somebody who hasn't really seen it before,
I saw it coming just because we don't know. Suddenly he blinks out and wakes up in a cab, so I figured as much.
Right.
But at the same time, I was keeping the back of my mind open, like maybe he got chloroformed and thrown in there, and possibly.
Sure.
But
they try to play it that way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, I don't remember if I was spoiled before I saw it, but I did suspect, like, well, okay, so something's up here.
Yeah, right. It was kind of a fun moment.
It's not like, Total Recall has got the really good where, like, you can almost go back and forth on, like, which one is it? Is it Quaid?
Right.
Is it Quaid and
Hauser.
There we go. It's like, which one is it? It's almost like you can watch it once and go, okay, this is who I think it is. Then you can watch it again and go, well, maybe it is the other way around. Or what do you think's kind of happening here?
They don't spell it out. So it's they leave it ambiguous, and it can be argued kind of either way, which is kind of nice. That's kind of what it makes the difference between, like The 6th Day, which is a really good movie and fun to watch, and Total Recall, which is really good and has the extra level of thought-provokingness to it, where to figure it out.
Yeah, because that one just got that extra deep level of depth of like really thinking on it, and really you can watch it multiple times and just start to go deeper and deeper into it and see even more. And that's why Total Recall's always been just one of my top favorite movies of all time. But
it's fantastic,
just so good all around. But I know we're kind of cutting it a little bit short, but I gotta go pick up my girlfriend from work, and I even told her, I'm like, well, we're gonna do a podcast, so if you could hang out just a little bit longer, I think this would be the easiest way to go about it. But do that.
Just send your clone.
I know. See that's where clones come in handy. I started thinking that when Arnold's over at like his little girl's like play thing going on, and all I thought too was like, they're still doing plays in the future. We got all this technology, we got plays going on.
How quaint. Yes.
But all I thought was like, that's perfect, because you could like think about all the stuff you get going. Like, okay, I'll send my clone in to go watch the play, and I don't have to be there.
Right.
Going on.
Yeah. It reminds me. You've seen the Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity?
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
I remember that line.
That's
hilarious.
That is a comedy based on he clones himself over and over, so he has all these versions of himself to do different things, and it's just like that.
One of the clones itself, and it's a little bit off.
Yeah.
Funny.
So, when you make a copy of a copy, and it's not quite looking too good, like
making copies of keys.
Yeah, that's a good
copy
one.
of a copy of a key. It works not as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that version, but the Batman version of it, where Michael Keaton Batman just clones himself a bunch of times.
Want to see nuts? Yeah.
Good.
I'm Batman.
I'm
Batman.
Speaking of like potential clones, I won't hold this up too much longer. But our friend Wes, who's been on the show before, he one time had this idea for a movie because it was like when cloning conversation was coming back up in the news. He wanted to make an idea for a short. He had this idea for a short where it's like he gets his own clone. And they're like best friends, like, hey Wes, want to go to the park? Yeah, just ridiculous best friends. And then next day he's coughing, like, oh hey Wes, look, clone Wes, I need your fucking lung. What? I need it now. Like the real Wes was actually a piece of shit. Give me the fucking lung. Right now. It turns like the horror film where he's chasing himself to the house. He's like, I just needed someone to parent trap that shit for me.
Yes, that'd be fantastic.
This is kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger parent trap to an extent.
Sort of is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That shot where the two frames are off slightly, they stand next to each other.
Yeah.
So it's much like that South Park episode where like they literally have it where the frames are kind of off when it shows the two Cartmans.
All right.
But
well, guys, I'm thankful for you having us on here to talk about the second time Arnold starred with another Arnold in the same movie.
I know.
So
get multiple Arnolds.
Think about it.
We need more Arnolds in life. I think just need clones of Arnolds running everywhere.
You can't go wrong. This is the second time. I think it's happened 3 times now. True. Right. With Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
This and then obviously the new Terminator Genesis.
Oh yeah. Where he fights himself.
With young Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about it, if we had clones of Arnold, we could have, in 1 year, you could be shooting a new Terminator, a new Conan, a new Twins.
Right?
Oh,
you know what I mean? We can just
that
knock
triplets made. Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Let's get this figured out. Come
high
on.
school cop. He can now
go.
He could be high school cop now. Now he's all like, "You stop smoking pot in the bathroom."
There is no bathroom. For that.
But really quickly, you guys want to give a little shout outs of where people can find you, where they can get the good old podcast and all the fun stuff that you guys are always creating and doing?
Yes, of course. We are, our podcast is Arnold Radio News. So you can, search iTunes and find that. It pops right up. And then we are on, our website is thearnoldfans.com, which is the biggest and best Arnold fan site in the world. There's really no competition there, I have to say. But and Randy Jennings, has been the president of that for a long, long time. And he's assembled an elite team of Arnold fans that include Brandon and myself. So
I'm gonna go see Arnold Core next week with Randy, or by the time this episode comes up, it'll probably be right then.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
great.
like, hey, you want to come down? They're like, Arnold Core's playing in Sacramento. I'm like, what? Yes, I do. You kidding me? And it's at some place called like the Blue Lamp or Blue Lantern. It's like, that looks like an interesting place. I've never heard of this before. Let's go find out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are the best kind of shows.
Yeah.
Some unknown place, just on live music.
$15 a ticket with a $1 service charge.
Oh, there you go.
Oh man,
Wow.
that is the best deal in the world there.
I know, I can't wait. Even the opening band looks pretty sweet too. I can't think of what they are off the top, but they kind of have some kind of goblin-like name, so it seems like it's gonna be super fun.
Yes.
Can't beat Arnold Core, especially when it's somewhat close to home.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
ready
Oh yeah. Sure.
for an action audio assault.
That's right.
Wear some camouflage and stuff too. That's
Gotta do that. Well, I'm gonna put on that Arnold Core shirt that came with the last album on their Kickstarter thing, the Born to Be Ballsy one.
Nice.
Because that'll be like the one place where somebody will get it. Because that's one of those shirts you walk around with, and nobody really knows what the heck you're wearing. But that place there, they'll know what I'm wearing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be awesome.
You'd be the king of the crowd, really.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, then you'll probably find some other guys that like have it on too, and they'll be like best friends, that you never knew you had.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can I add you to the collection?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Come on. But
Yeah.
that'll be fun. But we'll have the podcast again soon. There's no reason to hold up a podcast. We should just be doing them all the time. Why not? There's all kinds of movies. You know what I mean? And we can go beyond Arnold. We can go even beyond Batman. We can go into unknown territory.
Yeah.
We can go into Stallone territory that in the 90s would have been very You had to choose a side. You couldn't just, be a Stallone and Arnold fan like you can nowadays. You were one or the other.
Right. I was one of those sticklers who only watched Arnold movies. I literally had not seen any Stallone movies up until about Demolition Man. I watched that. I was kind of like, okay, there's an Arnold reference. It's safe.
That's kind of how I was. It wasn't until like the 2000s that I really started watching Stallone movies. It was kind of like it got to a point where I'm like, well, I've watched all the Arnold movies a bunch, I guess. Well, I guess what's the next thing you do? Time to watch some Stallone movies. And then I went through the whole like Stallone collection. It's like, okay, I like Stallone a lot too. We can like them all. There's no reason we have to pick sides. Let's enjoy everybody.
Yes. It's okay.
Right.
But cool, guys. Well, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, comics, and all that kind of fun stuff. Grab a copy of Pizza Boys, the comic, at Comix Central. Until then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan with our special guests,
Brandon Crumb.
And Ryan the Gillinator.
Would you guys like to sign us off?
We'll be back.
Yes. Come on.
All right.
Guys.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comix Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comix Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter, at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again, we're out of here.